Hi, Billy the Artist here, and here I've got my pencil drawing of the Rob Austin Audi A4 British touring car, and you will see in the end of this video, this is just a how to draw, but it's going to help you with the basics if you are a beginner and you want to learn how to draw. But you'll see in the time-lapse video at the end how I go from a blank piece of paper right the way through to the finished artwork, which is this. So how do you get, when you've got nothing but a blank piece of paper, the image down, especially if you're learning and you want to develop your pencil drawing skills and there's no reference points to actually put it down? So I'm going to show you how you can develop skills to help you to draw this, as you say, from blank piece of paper to the finished piece at the end. And one of the best ways is to do a grid. Now, here we've got this grid, and if you look across, I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will help in a second when I'm describing as I actually draw this through, so you can actually see how to put it down. I've actually put these lines down quite dark so you can actually see me put this together from my reference picture. So here you see my reference photo, and I've actually gridded it up. Computers are brilliant, so if you've got image editing software, I run a Mac, so you can use something like Pixelmator or Photoshop or Photo Elements or something like that. But you can put the grids on. But if you've got a photograph and you want to grid it up yourself, you can put the lines on. And then you do that on your paper. You're actually working within a tradition of art that is fantastic. So here you can see this little drawing down here, and then the larger one. This is people like John Constable, so you're in a great tradition of the old master artists. They would do oil sketches or little drawings or watercolours, and then they would square them up, and then they would get the canvas and proportionally work it out to the right size, and that way they could then match up the drawing to the canvas, and they could enlarge it and then do the full-size painting that would then be hung in what is now the National Gallery or the Royal Academy Summer Show or something like that. So you're actually using techniques that are well tried and tested by some of the great artists. Now, as I said, I've drawn these lines on quite dark so you can actually see this in this video. On the other side of the paper though, I've put the marks on the edge. Let's say this is a 2B pencil, but you can use something, this one's a 2H, you can also get things that are even harder. I've got a 6H, this one's got a 4H lead in it, and you can draw on the lines when you mark up your paper very, very lightly. So you can barely see them. As you say, you can hear my pencil working on this, but you will barely see the actual line. So if you do that, you've then got a grid reference point that you can do on your paper. When you finish your drawing, get an eraser, and you can just delete off the lines from the outside, or just draw the grid on where you can see. So if you look at my reference photo, you can kind of see all around this area. You don't really need a large amount of dark lines or any lines at all, because your points will be within the grid. Again, I've put A, B, C, D, E, F and G and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 on the side so I can give you reference points as you go through. But D, this is an A3 sheet of paper. My reference photo, I've put on the equivalent. It's an A3 piece of paper. So when I put the grid lines on, that will give me the position where it needs to go. And this is all in millimeters if you're in the USA and you're using inches. Again, just find the center line, put it down. So this is 210 millimeters. A3 paper is 420 millimeters across. So you can do that, then you can divide that in two. So you've got 210 millimeters, B would be 105. And again, just do some basic simple maths and you can actually put the marks on where you can draw your grid down. But again, if you then look at your reference photo, here's my Audi A4, you will actually see that the car will now fit within various grid points. So down here in C1, you've got the top. You don't have to put a dark line on, I'll just put crosses on so you can actually see. Then the other top, the other side of the roof comes across on the second line, so this would be a little way down from F. Again, you've then got, you can draw a line over. The roof will then come down, you can follow the line down a little bit. Actually the line's a little bit lower. Again, don't be afraid of making mistakes because you can erase them out afterwards. But you can just put marks on that will help you to guide your image around. So you've got your centre line, F3, and the corner pillar is kind of about a third into the square. So all of a sudden, you can put reference points down because you've put this grid system on from your photograph to your piece of paper that will help you. The wing mirror on this side within B1 and 2 as you come down is a little shape that's kind of in there. Now I'm going to draw this really quickly, but I'll just put the major points down as you look at the art. To the back wheel arch is kind of coming down through here, so like I said, I've just made a little mark on there. The wheel arch then comes out into the A section, and then it kind of comes down at a slight angle through. The bottom of the wheel is in the A section, but it's down underneath 4, so you can put a little mark there and a little mark there, and you can create a dot to dot. The front wheel is underneath, then the front of the skirt that comes around the very front of the car runs across there. But if you remember your dot to dots when you were a little child, or if you are a child and you're doing dot to dot drawings, what a great fun opportunity that you can actually have by creating your own dot to dot drawing. So from there right the way across to there is the front of the skirt. So you can just draw a line on, and there you've got the bottom of the car. Then your front wheel is kind of there. Remember how in the basics using shapes, if you use shapes to draw, you can actually put these elements in very quickly, and you can see how your shapes can develop. The front wheel arch is into the B section above the centre line, but it's only about a quarter of the way in, the top of the wheel arches. And so very quickly, so straight away you've got the back wheel arch. You're starting to see the outer shape of the car very quickly. You've got the front wheel arches, and you can, it doesn't matter where you start. When you've got a grid system, you don't have to work from one point all the way across. You can just bounce around quite quickly. So if we think about the windscreen coming down, the front A pillar onto the windscreen is above there, and you're going to have a windscreen line coming across, so you come over into the F line, into this F box above the centre line. You now have got the window. Rob Austin's crash helmet goes right through, and so he's inside, right through the E line on that cross point there as he's wrestling the car around, and his 101 is 101 on there, and then you've got a windscreen wiper that goes up, you've got the duo line that goes across, and then the other windscreen wiper is just on the side of the centre line, the D line, and comes down. So you can see you're getting a very quick outline down that you can develop into a drawing and then do a painting if you want to, just by using the grid system. And you can grid up any reference photo that you've got very quickly. So let's get the other outside of this line in. Top of the wheel arch is just underneath the centre line, and so you're going to come down to this reference point that was there. The bottom of the wheel that's on the ground just comes inside there, and then you've got the back wheel which is in the shadow that comes across to about there. So here you're seeing, now again the shadow line goes all the way across, but you can accentuate this. Art is great, it's a bit different than photographs. You can, if you want to, accentuate the shadow, so it makes it look like he's even taller off, and that's fun that you can have with art. And in the drawing you can see I pulled the curb in a little bit because I wanted it to fit within this piece of paper. But again, straight away now you've got the shape of the outside of the car. Now if we come down from E, you've got the point of the end of the Audi logo, the 4 circles, and you can see you can draw a rectangle first where you can actually place the full kind of shape of where the 4 circles will be, and that will then allow you to draw 4 very quick simple circles. You've got the Dunlop, so you can see that it's just underneath, dead on the centre line, just underneath, about a quarter of the way down on the centre line, on the D line. And then you want to do your dot to dot, so you're going to come over, and so you're into E, and that's going to come across to about there. Again, draw a shape, and then for the chrome outline, just put your reference points down if you look, so you can see between C and D you've got another one there, and you're going to have like a funny little parallelogram, another little point there, and then you come and you've got another point that's a little bit just past that, which would be your Dunlop. So here you can see, and I'm doing this very, very quickly so you can just see how simple it is. And you can put the front of the bonnet to actually get a good outline down by using this grid system. So by doing a bit of very simple, very quick, basic maths, you're actually giving yourself a great image to work with as a piece of art. And this, as I said, this is something that people like John Constable used to do. So it's a wonderful heritage within the art system. There's the light and the Dunlop sticker. You've got the line coming round of the skirt on the front. The Finch signs circle is there. You can just indicate the Finch. The Alcosense logo would go there. Again, just put little pipe across at the bottom. You've got where the core bow is. You've got another line. And this is how, when you haven't got the grid system, if you can visually put marks down yourself on a blank piece of paper, if you can imagine the grid system, this is how you'll see me do it in the full time lapse. But again, just enjoy using very, very simple basic techniques to actually get a very good outline down that you can then turn into a full piece of art. So here I'm just putting the other headlight in that's kind of down. You've got a highlighted roll bar pillar. You've got the back of the car coming down to make the back window, and you've got lines going across inside the back. And you can just put any amount of detail. So you've got the Duo logos. And you can do this with anything. It doesn't matter whether it's an animal, whether it's a car, whether it's a person. You actually grid up anything. You can then draw that down very simply by making your own little dot-to-dot picture. And I'm just doing the Dunlop sign. So there you can see a very, very quick outline. And if we superimpose this on top of the car, you can see how just putting the points down gives you a great, quick, simple outline. Oh, missed off the other wing mirror on this side. But it is the full Audi TT drawing. You've got the squares inside. Now you've got the lines, so you can help you put the vent squares on the top of the bonnet. And this is a great simple way to grid up an image so that you can enjoy your art and get a very quick simple outline. All the lines around the outside, as I say, if you do them lighter, I've just done these for effect so that you can actually see, you can rub out all of the lines down, and then you can actually start building up the detail. So again, watch the time lapse and you'll see it from blank piece of paper right the way through to full piece of art, and you'll see how I put the outline down after over 2 decades of practice of going out drawing. But this is a good way for you to learn and develop your drawing techniques. So enjoy your drawing, try the grid system, get a photo of sort of subject that you enjoy, grid it up, put a proportional grid down. I say I made my photo fit on an A3 piece of image within a piece of photo editing software, so it would then work onto a piece of A3 paper. If you've got a 10-inch or a 10cm square piece of paper and you're going to do a 10cm square or 10-inch square for the US viewers piece of image on a photo or artwork, then divide that grid up and just make your own dot-to-dot and put the outline in and then build it up. Anyway, enjoy watching the time lapse. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this, seeing how using grids will help you to produce this image. I'll just get the original before we go into the time lapse section, so you can see that here, and if I overlay that over the top, you can hopefully see how close that is. by using the grid system, you can then create the outline for a great piece of art. So enjoy your drawing, enjoy your painting. I hope that's been a great help, and please do subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see more art, more of what I produce, more how to draw videos, and you'll see more things like this Audi, as you'll now see in the time lapse.
You can do lots of squares and circles and shapes.
But do try the gridding, and I hope to see what you've been up to with your art in the future.
If you look at the different shapes, to